Hey guys, what's up? It's Schla. And today we are trying out the new plosive filter. And I'm really hopeful that this one is good enough because I did have before we begin. Hey guys, what's up? It's Schla, bringing you another episode of Car Rides with Schla. I didn't know what the package was when it came, and I just tossed it aside in my room and thought nothing of it. And then at night, I was thinking about it, and I was checking some of the things I had ordered on eBay, and I was thinking to myself, what could I have ordered? What is this? And I had recognized the state it was coming from, and I was thinking about it, and then I burst into it because I didn't know what it was. And it turns out it was the plosive filter. So last night, I kind of, in a scramble, was thinking, oh, what am I going to do? And then I didn't really plan things out properly. So then by the time we get to this morning, now I'm like rushing to get the thing on. And it turns out it's kind of more complicated than I thought. Like it was really hard to get it on the mic. So I hope everything is working out and good. That remains to be seen because I'm a little nervous, obviously. I never did a test recording, which I would have done if when I came home, I knew what was in the package and I knew it was the plosive filters. If I knew, I would have opened it and done some test recordings and gotten everything figured out. But I didn't know that. So we were just in a rush, and I've adjusted the microphone placement to now have it closer to my mouth, which I hope will yield a better result. The only reason I had it pretty aggressively far away is because the setup I had before was not really optimal. It had that headset plosive filter that I had strapped on with a rubber band, and I don't really think it was working very well because when I would have it close, it would really still plosive up. So I just had it far away from my face. But this one, because of how heavy duty it is, it should be closer to my mouth. So I did have things I was going to talk about, but I definitely was in a rush this morning. So please forgive me. There was definitely things I was kind of thinking over. Oh, what am I going to say in this episode? Now there's not. It's just is what it is. Okay, I see flashing lights. I wonder what this could mean. Is my... Yeah, sorry, you're going to have to... It's a bunch of orange trucks doing something. What could this mean? And men in yellow. Sorry, I just can't focus on talking because I'm trying to understand what's happening right now. And these guys block off my visibility, so that's not fun. My apologies, but life does get in the way sometimes, guys. I really hope that the quality's better, though. I'm probably going to end up listening to this one because, and I'm being a little bit cautious. I probably could move it closer to my face, but I'm a little bit cautious to do that. And sorry if you hear some noise. I feel like I still have to get the adjusting down and things finalized. Now, I did end up getting the beige just because that's all they had. They either had like a really light beige, more of like a white or just regular beige. I really wanted black, and I don't know, maybe someday I'll buy the black, but I didn't feel like waiting and trying to figure out when that would be in stock. I think it looks pretty good. I would say my skin tone is still slightly darker, so it's not like a perfect match, but it does probably look visually better than what the black would look like. I'm assuming it was a sign. I'm assuming the reason why they only had beige is because I was meant to get it, but we'll see. I don't know if someday I'm just going to end up buying the black. Maybe on a newer, better microphone I get at some point, I will end up getting the black. Who knows? But yeah, this morning was kind of a rush. I was definitely rushed because last minute I realized there's kind of like a million things that I need to do. And then this took so much longer than I thought to set up. And I still don't even know if it's on there properly. So I'm very upset about that. It's not like, I just don't know what it's supposed to be on there. I don't know how it's supposed to be on there. So that's the problem. The problem is, I don't know how it's supposed to be. So it's difficult for me to gauge, okay, do I have it on enough? Do I have it on not enough? Etc., etc. Now, something I just wanted, or I was just thinking about just now that I do think is notable. I know yesterday I patted myself on the back a lot, and I'm sure you guys know I've kind of been into doing that recently. I was just thinking about it, though, and I do want to reiterate just how exceptional it is that I went through all the effort to get this mic stuff set up with the speed that I did, because I was really thinking about it just now. And most people who do this kind of stuff, I mean, they might have the phone recording. That's a fairly common thing. I just don't know that people, and at the speed that I did it, would have had the good microphone set up. So I'm hoping the payoff for that is high, especially considering how cheaply I got this whole setup together. Because I got the microphone for a steal of only $60. It is pretty remarkable. I don't know that a lot of other people would do this. I think a lot of people would have just used the phone. So I think everything taken into account, I do deserve to recognize myself. I know you guys are probably getting tired of me doing that, but I think it's deserved because nobody else, it doesn't seem like, well, I mean, I haven't really told anybody, so maybe that's the problem of why I'm not getting recognition. But it was good. I think the fact that I got all this together in the short amount of time I did, I already mentioned before, it was not even that long ago. It was this is probably today's night shift might be the 3-week anniversary or something of me doing this. So, and I've had the good mic now for a bit. It's just now the final key is the better plosive filter, which I really hope is working, because that would be pretty disappointing if it isn't working. I'm trying to think about other things I could do to my voice. It is a little overwhelming, though, and difficult to think about, but there's obviously things I've noticed about my voice. Perhaps I enunciate S's a lot, and I feel like in a recording, S's should be kind of mellowed out. So I'm experimenting with that. Although I'm going to do more research because I'm not sure exactly what should be the case, but I'm trying to, when I speak and say S's, just say them as mellow as possible, because I know on mics they're very sensitive to sibilants, There it was kind of tricky because that was really a lot of S's. But I know microphones are sensitive to sibilants, so, and of course I'm driving too. I mean, these are long-term goals though, because it is kind of an overwhelming and a daunting task to be consciously changing the way you speak. It is, and it's going to take a lot of effort. And it's particularly difficult to do while driving. Like, I'm not just doing this in the comfort of my own home when I have time to really concentrate and think about what I'm doing. It's pretty hard. It's pretty hard to do it while driving. I think that should give me bonus points of slack. But we're going to take it one issue at a time. I still am not completely moved on from the filler word or the lack thereof the use of filler words. I'm noticing sometimes now my speech is getting a bit jumbled, and I'm wondering if that could be correlated with the lack of the filler. Because I feel like when you use filler words, it gives your brain a chance to calculate what it actually wants to say. And now that I'm trying to take those filler words out, I'm getting jumbled up a little more than usual. Although, I guess I do get jumbled sometimes just because of how much I talk about and the things I do talk about. So I suppose it's nothing too crazy, but it's just something I feel like I've noticed. I don't know how noticeable it actually is. Like, you guys might be hearing this and saying, what are they talking about? I would be 10 times more jumbled. I don't really know what the metric for word, the rate of word jumbledness. I don't know what the accurate average metric for the rate of word jumbledness is. But I'm trying to figure it out. I'm trying to think of ways I can improve my speaking. I am pretty serious about it. I think I am always going to be more of a raw person in terms of I don't really like to perfect. I don't really like to tweak. I just like things to be raw. I've always been that way, for sure. Like, there's no changing that. I'm always going to love this raw kind of content. I don't really like editing. I'm just not really into that kind of stuff. Now, I had mentioned before, it's completely possible that at some point I get an editor and make that kind of content too. I just don't know that that's really my calling. Like, there are plenty of people who make that kind of content. I don't know if it's that special. Although I do get that it's inherently more special because more effort is being put into it. Raw is definitely less effort. But it's also different effort in a way because it's on the spot. But you could have on the spot and edited. There's a couple different ways to look at it, I think. So I don't know that we have a clear answer yet. But that's where we're at. That's definitely where I'm at right now with my thinking about it. I need to figure out little things I can tweak. Because I actually feel motivated to, and I feel like of anything, it's going to be speech that I actually want to perfect. Because I never really had an interest in editing videos. I never really had an interest in playing an instrument and all that comes with that. That stuff I would just want to do the bare minimum with. And I'm usually like that in life. I've never found something that I really wanted to work on and perfect. But I think if there was going to be anything, it would be this. It would be speaking. It would be my voice. Because already it's my favorite thing, second to none. So I think improving how it comes across in any way that I can there is going to be motivation to do that. Just food for thought, just kind of what I was thinking about. I think I was thinking about this yesterday, so perhaps it was one of the things I was thinking I was going to talk about. Who knows? I'm just hoping that this plosive filter's working. I'm a little bit nervous about it, but hopefully, even if it's not working, we can get it ironed out pretty quickly, and by next week, all the future recordings should be at pretty peak quality. The only change that would really happen is if I research into a better interface, perhaps, or a better microphone if I so choose. I'm not sure if I'm going to do that or not yet, but it's possible. It's possible because I'm just always like that. Like, I know that this Rode is really good for the price, but I know there's better mics out there. And I also sort of question my interface because it is just the Rode AI Micro, which was, I mean, it was kind of expensive though. It was $75. I think I paid $75 for it, and it's usually $80. It seemed kind of tricky to get it lower. I mean, there were some pre-owned for like $70, but I don't really think that made sense because I got mine brand new for $75. I thought that was a pretty good deal, but it seems hard to get them lower priced. Of course, someday maybe they will fall. I don't know if it's a newer product. I don't think it's that new, but maybe it is. I couldn't really see any evidence that on eBay, at least, they had sold for much lower. So I thought it was okay. I mean, it wasn't really that good of a deal. I usually like to hunt for a good deal. But it is what it is, right? I don't really know what else to add to that. But what I'm talking about is how there could be a better interface out there, and I probably would be willing to spend some extra money, but this one's worked out, so I don't know how much of a difference it would make. I mean, it's possible. I'm just not sure it would make that big of a difference. I think the microphone is probably the main bottleneck, and even there, the way this one is already so good. But I think I was still smart about it to just grab this one really quickly, like used and cheap, just because I wanted something quick. And I got it now, so I think it's good. It was good to get something, get it quick, and now I have time to research and really look into if I want to get a better mic. Because as I said, I may not even want to. It's still up in the air whether I'm going to do that, because it is going to be a few $100s for something that it's not going to make that much of a difference. It might just be like 10 or 20% better quality. I think a lot of people might not even notice it. So that's really the important thing. I mean, it's a difference of, and I'm going to put this as a note to self in terms of what I think my philosophy should be and what's good. It's whether I should value things and perfect things to my own standards, or whether it's fine as long as it's probably good enough for everybody else's. Because I really have a hunch that given that most people don't have a lot of good audio equipment, whether it's their headphones or whether it's the speakers they're listening from, I don't know that it's really going to matter. And these already do such a good job. You have to kind of wonder who's listening, who's going to be listening to it, etc., etc. But there is always going to be inside of me that desire that I want to have the best because I notice it, I value it, and maybe that is important and fulfilling. And maybe I shouldn't lowball it just because I know it's not going to matter. I think it's a pretty deep question, and I'm glad I'm getting it recorded and getting my thoughts out there, because it's something I'm going to have to take note of philosophically as I continue with this series and even as I go through life. What should I aim for? What is the ideal? What is the right thing to do? Is it just that I should go up to what other people's standards realistically are and maybe preserve the energy for other things and activities, in this case money? Or should I go all out and craft things as best as I possibly can, because maybe that's special, because most people can't even do that? There's just two very different ways to look at it, and I'm just really happy that I'm getting it down on this recording. I'm very happy about that. So, there's a filler word, of course. It just happens. I think it just happens sometimes. But I want to reduce it to 0. I really want perfection. I don't know if I'm going to get perfection, but I want perfection. That is absolutely what I'm striving for. I'm not sure what else I was going to talk about. I notice I say sure a lot too. I wonder about that. I wonder if that's okay or if that is a little odd. Not entirely sure. See what I'm saying? I just say it a lot. I don't know if it's a word everybody says a lot or what the deal with that is, but it's interesting, I think, for sure. Yo, see what I'm saying? I'm not even trying to do that. I'm dead serious. I'm not trying to do that. I can't believe how that happens. But what else was I going to talk about? I think the patting myself on the back thing was pretty important, though. Because I do think I deserve the credit. I do. I got all this together very quickly. I don't think a lot of people would. And I'm proud of myself for that. I guess I've been kind of realizing, too, as I've gotten older, like, I always felt like I wasn't good enough, but what I know about other people now, I realize I am further ahead of a lot of people in terms of my dental care, having my Life and Wave. I never talked about it, but I got a Life and Wave, and I'm very happy with it. It's easily by far the best toothbrush I've ever had, and it's very heavy, and it's metal, so it's very high quality. And I always need something that feels good, and I never really thought about it for a toothbrush. I didn't know it existed. I didn't know they made like an aluminum toothbrush, but they do, and it feels great. Now, I obviously have my sights set on the titanium and the stainless steel variants, but they're kind of hard to get. I got the one I got for very cheap, but someday I would like those higher end ones. I have seen a stainless steel listing, though, that I'm eyeing up. I'm definitely eyeing it up right now. I am eyeing it up because it's a little bit cheaper than you can usually get it for. And I've really wanted that stainless steel. Not as good as the titanium, but it will be something to at least hold me over. I'm really happy I didn't go with the plastic, though, because I was tempted to buy a plastic one because one for a really good deal came up. But I hadn't actually, held the metal one yet. And after actually holding the metal one, I knew, that has been just such a joy. I love it so much. So I'm hoping to get more Life and Waves as my life continues. I hope to get that stainless steel one. I'm just a little wary of spending extra money right now. I already just spent a bunch extra. I ordered the vent phone holder so I can hopefully put my other iPhone that I used to record the audio with there. And I'm also thinking, because I've been using the 7 Plus, but I'm probably going to end up switching to my 14 Plus for the audio recordings, because I have a feeling it could be more stable. Now, I know audio recording does not take up a lot of CPU power, but still, the 14 Plus has such a dramatically faster CPU and more RAM. I assume it could increase reliability a lot by just using that one. It also has better battery life, but it doesn't have higher storage. Maybe there was a method to my madness after all. I think there was a method to my madness. That's what I think. I also have to remember, because I've been forgetting to do this, but I might as well do it today, because it should become like a Friday routine. Sorry, I just got angry because I said like again. It should become a Friday routine because that's when I can get the most of them done. That's when I can get them. I said that right, yeah. I can get the most of them done at once. Obviously, I'm never going to be able to get them all done because there's always a Friday evening, but I'll have to keep that in mind. I will have to get into a habit of every Friday morning. Am I even explaining what I'm saying? So iPhone's really annoying. I think you can transfer files over if you get this program that lets you do it, but natively it's very tricky to get files over from an iPhone. I don't know if there's a way to do it that I'm just ignorant to, but that is in my experience how things are. And what this voice recorder app lets you do is it lets you convert the audio into a black video that then puts it in your photos, so then it's easy to transfer it to my computer. So that's what I was trying to explain. Important thing to explain to y'all because, yeah. It's good, but I'm just going to want to get into a Friday morning habit of converting all those over. I cannot believe how the time has flown by. It's already... I mean, I'm not making good time at all. Like, I'm probably going to get to work later than I have, not counting the issue on Monday with the traffic jam. I might actually get to work later than I ever have in a long time. We are not making good time. I have a good excuse, though. It was just because things really fouled me up with the microphone. And then I feel like I could have even forgotten something else. I'm not entirely sure. So it was just a weird morning. And they're not always going to be like that. But in this case it was, and just kind of how it goes. What can you do? But yeah, I'm very happy. And then also the stand will arrive today. So that'll be good because I'll be able to use it for the backup better. And I'm also hoping I'm also hoping that in general I can kind of position it better because it has that arm. I've always wanted to have the phone thing very much in the space of the front pillar. I'm calling it a roof pillar. I've heard it called a B pillar before. I'm not sure, though, if I'm misremembering that or if the B pillar is only the one on the side. But the roof pillar, the thing that is connecting the roof that isn't a window, I always wanted to have the phone holder lined up with there, so I still had pretty optimal windshield visibility. And I think I may actually be able to do that with this one, because this one has the arm that comes out. So that'll be pretty interesting to see how that works. Although I have to also keep in mind about the angling for the visual. Like, I don't know if I put it, because right now we're slightly to the right of the roof pillar, and I don't know if we put it more over to the left, if it kind of will mess up the angle, because I'm pretty content with the angle the way it is now. Although if it was slightly over to the left more, I think it could still work. I just don't know what looks better. But I think it does look fairly good from the side, because it's my side of my face that the microphone isn't on, so it kind of airs things out a little. Like it looks okay. And a side profile is not necessarily bad. So I'll get some impressions from some people, I guess. I will send them clips, and they will tell me what they think looks better, I suppose. Because we also don't know that the mic placement is finalized. I'm probably going to try to get it closer to my face if I can. I'm just not sure that I can. We're going to listen to this one, and I'm worried because even this one could be ruined. And that would be a shame, but at least in future recordings it won't be. I even think, though, if this one's a little bit messed up, it's still kind of worth... Like, the backup mic does not sound good in comparison. It just does not. I'm hoping it improves a little bit when I get the proximity closer to my face and we start to use the rear camera, which should be on all next week's episodes. We'll see. I don't usually like to do this kind of stuff, but I probably will do some test recordings with it over the weekend. I just think that's the right thing to do. Like, not to be lazy about it. It won't take that long to figure out how to situate things. But yeah, it should be a double whammy. It should be better visual quality and better microphone. Although I'm not entirely sure, because I do know if the camera gets too close to something, it kind of is no good. So I still feel like it's going to be at an optimal range, though. We'll have to figure it out. It may be a worse situation than I thought, because I don't know if it gets too close to my face, if that's going to mess up the angle. I'm not entirely sure. I'm really not. So like I said, I'll have to look into it, try to set something up, and get some opinions from people as to what looks better. I've been wondering about doing the face reveal, though. Like, I've been thinking about it. I do really like the black videos, but something about it, I don't know. I'm getting tempted. Just because I feel like it's a waste of time in a way. Like, I put all this effort in. Well, I mean, no, it's because the camera is like the least amount of effort. The microphone is easily a lot more effort. But I'm saying, like, I do have it, and I'm going to have it archived, so it's not like I'm keeping the actual footage. So it's not, I don't know, it's not that big of a deal. Like, I could post it at some point. Or I did have that other idea that, like, I could have a Patreon, and then on the Patreon, the actual videos are there. There was also that. I think that's a good idea I might consider. Well, luckily, even though we were making bad time, it looks like oh, never mind. I spoke too soon. We got hit with a light. But we were really close to kind of like compensating for the poor timing. Really close, dangerously close even. Very dangerously close. And I don't even know, my thing could be reset by now. Because my password got changed for work and it doesn't go through right away. It takes a couple days. So I wonder if this morning I'm going to get busted. So I guess that means it's probably a good time for TLDR's with Schla. Today, we started off in a distressed, confused state. We were talking about some microphone things. I finally got the plosive filter. I did have things I wanted to talk about, but I didn't get to talk about them because the morning was pretty packed and I was distracted from having to deal with all the mic stuff. Then we patted myself on the back for a little bit, and we ended... Oh, we talked about how I want to work more on my voice and stuff to do with that. And then I can't believe it, but I don't remember what we were just talking about. So that's crazy, but I don't remember. Anyways, Schla out. Bye, Schla.